Hey there everybody, Pop on Top here. Welcome back to some more Fallout 4 mods. In today's mod, we got a new weapon mod here. This is the Black Ops 6 Colt 723 as they call it, which is the real life gun name. It's called the XM4 in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. That's actually the most recent Call of Duty. I was waiting to see how long it would take for those weapons to start to come over, even though the XM4 has been in Call of Duty Black Ops series before. Here it is. Now, looks very nice. Obviously nice animation. It looks just like the one from Black Ops 6. Sounds good, shoots well, sounds just like it. Reload animation, nice high quality. Looks just like the gun from Black Ops 6. Now this does weigh in at 600 megabytes. That's fucking crazy. Like, I'm sure that's how big it is in Call of Duty, right? Because Call of Duty can take up hundreds of gigabytes of space, and then having one gun be 600 megabytes is not a big deal. But this gun here, taking up 600 megabytes of your mod space on a 2 gigabyte limit, game, it better be really good. Now, so far, from what I've messed around with it a little bit, it is very good. That sound is very good. The animation quality here is very good. Call of Duty really does nail the gun animations and stuff. You can craft this for yourself at the chemistry station. That's how it works. So listed under here, the bottom section weapon, Colt 723, the XM4 here. You need gun nut 4. You can craft it for yourself. You can also craft these 40mm grenades because it does have an underbarrel grenade launcher. It's a little bit weird. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. But these are free to craft, so technically you can craft these for yourself and you can throw them like regular grenades. I guess we'll show that off first, just because that's a weird thing as a side effect here. If I equipped, currently I have the nuclear grenades equipped, but if I just equipped a 40mm grenade, it's equipped like a grenade. I could see it and I throw it like a grenade. It's a grenade, all right? Functionally a grenade. Let's take a look at the attachments we could do here, because obviously Call of Duty is famous for having huge amounts of attachments. Now, most of the Call of Duty guns I cover are not very good because they had put the attachments in from Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is like a fast, twitchy shooter, so there's things that like increase your ADS speed to make it faster. You can get to your target quicker, which gives you an advantage in a twitchy shooter, and it might even give you an advantage here to aim down sight quicker, but it doesn't actually even do that. We'll see what kind of stuff here is. So you can do automatic, you can do auto tweak, which is just more damage. So it's essentially like effectively a receiver, right? It doesn't even have any description to it. You need science apparently and gun nut to get maximized damage out of here, but you do get maximized damage. So you can also put a compensator, a muzzle brake, and a suppressor on here. Now the compensator and muzzle brake both require the commando perk. I think that's fair because the full auto. It's only full auto, though. I don't think I saw a semi-auto tweak here, is there? I don't see any place I can make it semi-auto. Yeah, I don't think so. So, you probably have the commando perk, which means you're not suppressing the weapon. A little bit weird, right? But, because obviously, if you're, it's different stuff for different strokes. But let's put a muzzle brake or something on there just to see. I mean, there wasn't really that much recoil anyway. To be fair, I've played a lot of the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6, at least the zombie side of things. The XM4 here, it is a no recoil gun. I mean, it's definitely recoiling still, but I don't know if the muzzle brake's doing too much for that, right? Like, you would hope so. It's not that much recoil anyway. This gun's a fucking laser beam in the game. We'll see. I guess we could take it back off, and then we'll make a little quick comparison. I don't want to go through every attachment and be like, how much does it work? If I can't notice like a significant difference, then what's the point of having the attachment, I guess, anyway. I mean, that's definitely kicking more, though. I definitely want to say that the muzzle brake is working, but let's put a suppressor on there just because I can. And I want to see what it sounds like suppressed. It does reduce the range. We can also do all the different Call of Duty sites here. These are actual sites from Call of Duty Black Ops 6. There's a lot of them. Let's check 4 times or something like that. That's always the weird ones that get weird. We have magazines here. These are pretty self-explanatory, bigger. You need science for magazines, which is kind of weird. Extended mag 3 here is like a double drum fucking crazy thing. That's what it's like in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Okay, they're not inaccurate. 4x scope seems to be working. We have big 100 round dual drum mag. That's obviously clipping with the Pip-Boy. That's just a little too big probably. Clipping bugs, you probably don't want to go this big, but the 4x scope does seem to zoom properly, and it functions. It has a reticle. It's a little bit weird, but it's working. Those are always the weird ones. I don't like big scopes. If you guys have watched my videos before, I'm a reflex guy. I've been playing a lot of the recent Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I like the Merlin Mini. That's my side of choice. Let's do Fast Mag though for a little bit. Fast Mag 3, so the way that it works in Black Ops 6 is like the bigger number on your Fast Mag, the smaller the mag, but the faster the reload. That Merlin Mini is such a great sight. It's definitely faster, right? That Merlin Mini, just like this, is just little tiny red dot. It's a little bit tiny though. That red dot is definitely smaller than it is in Call of Duty, I feel like, right? But it's just a clean sight. It's just a nice rectangle. It sounds really nice too. The suppressed sound is actually really crunchy. It's got some nice reverb to it. I've heard this gun suppressed because in zombies, if you have the gun suppressed, you get more salvage. That's a thing. That's a Call of Duty thing that I've been learning. A flip mag is like the same capacity, but it should flip to reload faster. We'll worry about that too. Kits are a really cool feature where you can give yourself essentially like a perk, like a Call of Duty style perk, but they've adapted it to Fallout. I love these things, right? So you could do, the blast shield is literally just damage resistance though. It doesn't actually reduce, like in Call of Duty, it's a thing that, it's a perk. I think blast shield was only what in like Ghost and Modern Warfare 3. It's called Flak Jacket normally because it reduces explosive damage, but this reduces all damage. That's kind of a crazy perk. Heavyweight allows you to carry more, even though that's kind of like regenerates your action points faster. Faster HP regeneration. I mean, it should. Is it like? Is it just regeneration? I don't even know if I can test. I mean, I guess I could. Need a grenade? Yeah, I hurt real bad. I see that. I am flickering, but is it going to regenerate? That's what I'm saying with the ICU perk. I gotta pull the gun out, maybe. We can shoot the flip. I guys, my screen is like literally flickering. It didn't flip though. It is a faster reload, but did it flip though? Maybe my HP is really slowly coming back. I'm gonna pop a stim pack. Maybe it's just faster regen when you do stim back. That seems to be pretty quick. It should just be that quick anyway. It's really hard to. It's a weird perk. Increase your amount of action points. Well, let's take no kit for a second. Let's take that flip mag off because it doesn't actually flip. I think Extended Mag 3 is too big. Extended Mag 2 is probably the way to go. Extended Mags are good. They are beneficial pieces of technology that allow you to... 60 bullets is probably plenty. And you get like a traditional mag that's not going to clip through your thing. Now, if I have... We can look at my stats here. I have currently 160 AP, which is quite a bit. Like max agility. Nothing crazy on the perk front, I think. I had to restart my thing. So I put Marathon on. That increases my action points by how much? Like a 20 would be a lot. Like that'd be like a significant... 260. You would literally get 100 AP off of this. That has vastly increased the amount of AP that I have, right? Like that's a significant amount of AP. And I think that's really cool. Like that's the feature of like these kind of guns. Even though it's 600 megabytes, and some of you may have already clicked off the video at that point, you can actually just make a crazy build. Like travel to aiming down sight time is half, so you can actually aim down sight faster with something like this kit. But that's not 100 extra action points. Fortified rad resist hip firing is somewhat more accurate. Improved VATS hit chance, 25% less action points cost is something you could just kind of... No fall damage is kind of cool. Increased movement speed while aiming down sights is a really cool one. Not something as good as the AP though, I think. Like, am I moving faster while aiming down sights? I don't even think that one... Hello? Regenerates your action points fast. I'm going to see that one too. Because, like, is it worth it? Like, which one's worth it more? But, like, do I feel like the Stalker was doing anything? I feel like I'm walking the same speed. But so if I spend some action points here, how fast do they come back? Pretty quick. That's pretty snappy. But like, I still don't think that's Marathon seems kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know how much. I gotta look at stuff here. I gotta look at some stats. I gotta look at some numbers. I gotta do the turbo nerd things. I gotta see. So my damage resistances right now are 5 and 10. Real nothing resistances. So if I put blast shield on, what does that make my resistances? Is it like, does it even function like that, where you could see it as a resistance, or is it something like 20? It gives you 20 damage resistance. That's not good. That's not. I mean, it's helpful for sure. Like it does something. It says considerably. I don't know about considerably on that. So let's see. Now what's my carry capacity? Like we gotta actually check the stats of this. So like currently my carry capacity is 450 pounds. So if I put on the heavyweight kit, what would that make my carry capacity? These are the questions you gotta ask yourself. I recently had to re-download all my mods because my game broke. It's 650. That's like 200 carry. That's a lot. That's something, right? Like some of these are way more valuable than others. Right now, the heavyweight kit, if you really want to carry stuff, ready up is helpful for that. But I think marathon is better just to have more action points. Aiming down sight is rad resistance. All like you could just take some rad X, right? If you hit fire accuracy, like VATS hit chance is probably like another alternative way to go. But having just a bunch more AP is kind of the it. So you also have ammo types here. These ammo types do increase damage. They say they cause bleeding damage. They don't, as far as I know. Armor penetrating bullets, incendiary bullets that cause fire damage, cryo bullets, hollow point bullets that do 120 more damage, which is crazy. And then depleted uranium rounds, which do radiation damage as well as energy damage. But hollow point might be the way to go, the strongest. And then you can choose how proficient you are with the weapon, which is also linked to the commando perk. So it really does want you to not suppress the weapon, right? Even though rifleman is required, like commando is the way to go with the build, obviously. And then proficiency is just a flat damage increase. It's like, oh, I'm really good with it. You can like headcanon your way into being like, oh, I used it so much I can, it's not saying this proficient with it. It's like giving yourself perks with the gun. So there's these grips, pistol grips, right? Sprint to fire speed is not like really a thing, but we'll put it on there to say we did. I gotta like I guess use it right now, like this. So I'm sprinting. Do I feel an increase to sprint to fire speed? I like this Merlin mini sight. I just don't really think the dot's really fucking tiny. That's a nice extended. It's a little longer reload, but it is like worth it. You're doubling up from the 30 to 60. Dramatically improves reload speed. Let's see. Does it feel like it dramatically improves reload speed? Or aim down sight speed even, right? Like, that's what I meant. Sure. I mean, even if it did, would it matter that much here, right? Like, these are the things that, like... See, like, because this is, like, sprint, dive, and slide to fire speed. This is all stuff you can't slide in. I mean, you could... There's a mod you can slide with. But, like, that doesn't matter here, right? Like, there's the short barrel here. But really, the CHF barrel is kind of an interesting one, because this barrel makes you do more headshot damage at the worst of vertical recoil control. So that's kind of weird. I don't like that they jump me out of attachments. Let's pick a different red dot sight. Let's just see what they look like. And we have stocks here. These are also going to be like improves movement speed while aiming down sight. Improve like resistance to flinch. I don't think flinch is a mechanic in Fallout, right? Movement speed while firing from the hit. So now we're going to move really fast. We have a fast moving stock, right? We should be moving faster with the gun. I don't know if that's exactly even true. These dots are really tiny on these sights. Like, that sight is accurate to what it looks like, but it's just a really tiny fucking dot. I don't really feel like I'm moving any faster. Like, I think it just like the way that Fallout works is none of that stuff matters, right? You can do all these grips that are supposed to help with recoil control. Improves recoil control and movement speed. I doubt it, but we'll try. We're also going to put like a muzzle brake or compensator back on there, I guess. We'll just try to really lock that recoil down. Is there anything that like dramatically improves aiming speed? I don't think it does. I don't like it, right? Like, I'm interested. It's hard to tell if its CHF barrel is actually gonna increase your headshot damage or whatever, right? But it could, I guess. I'm looking for something that like the hollow sights. 3 times magnification power. I don't think it actually is, because like. To movement speed. You think so? You would think so. Movement speed when aiming down sights. You think so, huh? And there's a couple camos here too, but they all kind of look ugly, I think. The gold isn't even gold, right? Like, maybe on PC version it is, but like on this particular console version, this is just black. It doesn't look like gold at all. I'm not moving quicker while aiming down sight at all. The hollow sight has like a slightly better reticle. I'm not a big fan of big things. And I guess this is, I would imagine this is supposed to look gold. It's just not. It's just tough. Like, obviously this is early. This is, you know, it's technically considered version 1.0, so that's, I wouldn't say early access or anything. It's, 1 isn't done. At least hopefully the desert and woodland camos work, but they just look real low res. And these stocks don't really seem, like, because most of them are like movement speed when firing from the hip and while strafing. It just doesn't, like a flinch. Like, it looks different for sure. It definitely is going to look different, right? I'm not going to try to, you know, sell you on the fact that, like, these sights... or these like stocks don't look different, these grips don't look different and stuff, right? We can also put a grenade launcher on there. So we showed off that you just throw the grenades earlier. We'll show off what the grenade launcher looks like, which is also very not great. That desert camo's on there now. It looks fine. This is like, it's, I can't even see the reticle, right? It's a very tiny dot. It's there though. We have a grenade launcher on here, which does not apply the camo. So now if I go to throw the grenade, I have to load it all the way up in here. It's still aiming at that target, you can see that, and then it shoots it. So, like, I can move with the target that I'm aiming at while I'm loading the grenades. I hit hold the right bumper on the controller, right? And then it just takes, it's a weird, it like functions. This is working. I would consider this working. It's just very cumbersome, like where you never actually feel like you want to do that. There may be some situations where you take the time to load it up and do that. We're going to try when we test it out in some combat. These barrels are supposed to reinforce long and gain twist barrels should all do something to range. They do not. So they're not. The short barrel should have less range too, but it doesn't. Like, these things don't actually matter. And it's just a big problem with Call of Duty weapons. Some of these things are cool. Like, I think the kits are really cool. Target laser. Okay, throw that on there, then. Like, the kits are like a really cool aspect of it. This marathon, this having just a huge amount of AP is really cool. We'll put like a 2x sight on there just to see. But I don't like these don't actually affect any statistical categories of the weapon. They don't actually make you move faster while aiming down sight. They don't do any of those things. The ammo types are cool because you could do freezing bullets. That's kind of fucking cool, right? Like there's some cool concepts in there. I'm gonna take the camo off though. I just like the default gun. There's like all these foregrips that this says it's technically a plus .0. But like, I'm sure, hopefully, you hold the gun correctly. It makes you change the way you hold the gun, right? Because you're holding the grip. You are holding that vertical foregrip. There's a 2-time sight. That's not what it looks like. But it is zooming a little bit. Still got some recoil going on, for sure. Vertical foregrip not doing a lot for my recoil. And my laser sight is like brighter than the dot. You gotta put the laser sight on there so you can see the dot where you're supposed to aim at, actually. The dots are really tiny. I don't know what like the cost of, or what causes that kind of effect. But yeah, these grips don't really seem like they're doing anything. They statistically don't change the weapon. The receivers are just like receivers. They get the weapon better. The barrels, hopefully this helps with headshot damage. It does have supposed to be, I mean, they look cool. Like that long barrel looks like an M16 barrel, right? That's a different kind of thing, right? Ergonomic grip. It's just going to make my weapon way more ergonomic, right? Like, put the target laser on there. Technically, you want any of these foregrips, right? Like, that it would sway less? Like, you would think so, right? But, like, I don't know if it actually does. Sorry, I think it doesn't seem to. Put a different hollow sight on there, right? Like, you could do all different kinds of stock. This flinch resistance nonsense that doesn't actually do anything. They look different for sure. Like, this stock's really big. It's in my cheek. You can see, cheek pad in there. I mean, that recoil's pretty low, but, like, you can do some interesting things with it, right? For sure. Now I'm pulling it through the stock. Yep, straight through the stock. That stock's too big. Like, it's just got a lot of... It's still... As much as it wants to be a 1.0 version, there's a lot of issues. Things just don't work. And I just don't, like... I get, like... So, you have to, like... correctly advertise these stocks and stuff, these things, right? So you should not convince the player that like these descriptions cannot say the same words that they do in Call of Duty, because it's not true. They don't actually do these things. This is incorrect information, and I don't know why we need gun nuts to increase the cost of what essentially boils down to a visual difference and upgrade. The heavy stock kind of looks nice. I'll do that, but that's all it does. It kind of looks nice. Right, the ammo types are cool. Like, I could probably use these freezing bullets and freeze some stuff. We're going to try that out. Why not? Like, see if that actually works. Because we assume if the freezing bullets work, the fire bullets work. The foregrip is cool because they actually make you hold the weapon slightly differently. The launcher does technically function, counts for something. I guess we'll put it on there because we do want to test that out. Target laser does have a laser, at least the laser sight. But that requires rifleman again, too, which is a weird perk combination because everything else is commando. So, like, if you want to, reduce recoil, I guess you'd have like a rifleman, you'd have like, and then you'd have the target laser on there. It's still full auto anyway though, so you don't get the damage benefit from the rifleman perk. And then you do have all these barrels. They're all gun at one at least, because they don't seemingly do anything either, right? Like, this short barrel should like dramatically reduce aim down sight speed and stuff, but it's not like something you really even notice, right? The sprint to fire speed, it's all the same regardless. It's because the follow doesn't function that way. I don't know if you could code it to function that way either, right? Like, it even matters. Just say, like, it looks like a cool, like, I guess, right? Like, it looks like cool. It looks cool. It's cool because it looks cool. That's it. Like, the launcher, at least does something, but the rest of the things are just the way you hold the weapon. The suppressor hopefully does suppress your weapon, but, like, and the muzzle brakes and compensators do seem to help with recoil. That does do something. The pistol grips here are all things. Like commando grip, look, it's short, I guess. Right? Like, some of these, there's so many things in these Call of Duty guns don't do anything. These reticles need to be a little bit larger for sure. You could argue maybe it's a resolution thing. I play at 1080p. Couple microplex is a good sight. Like, it's a good, just solid sight, but it's just gonna have the tiniest dot. Like, my laser sight is bigger dot than my reticle dot. It's just weird. It's a weird look. This is a nice sight though. It's kind of got a weird thing with the laser on there though, because the laser really getting into the optics part of the optic, right? It does sound nice though. The animations out here are all good. All the Call of Duty stuff, like the stuff you took directly from Call of Duty, the animations, the so on and so forth, the sounds, all that's very cool. The variety of all these barrels and stuff, and the fact that they look different is cool that exists. Like, there's a little commando grip you can put on your thing, right? Like, there's all these things you can put on there, but the fact is they just don't do anything. At least the sights all seemingly look okay. As from all the ones I checked, they look okay. That does count for something. It's a big, that's got like a M16 mount, like a carry handle, that's what they call that? Carry handle on it. Because it's like a short scope. Okay, I didn't even realize that was going to be like a short scope. This is a red dot sight. An auto mini reflex is like a, is it a reflex? That's what they call it, right? Like, this, it's crazy to me. I can't, how do you scroll even the, I don't know how to scroll the thing. But it's just a weird gun. I like this sight though. I think that's a cool one. And I like this kit. I think kits should be like almost a thing on every gun, like a perk for your gun. That's a cool thing. Perks for your gun are a cool thing. Lots of different magazine types. They all function. There's cool things here, but it's 600 megabytes. It's just a huge thing. But there's some cool stuff to have. There's some definitely cool stuff to have. This could be your only gun still. Regardless of the things that don't work, you don't need them. They're not necessary. You don't have to move faster while aiming down sights. You don't have to aim down sight faster. You don't need better sprint to fire time in Fallout. It's not really a thing. You need things that are actually going to change things. Like, so imagine like this auto red dot. It's supposed to be a red dot, but it's clearly like a scope. Imagine if you had these stocks, but like they changed the AP cost, but changed accuracy. So like the heavy stock, instead of just, you know, doing some Call of Duty thing like flinch or whatever, but like say, or like gave you 5% chance to hit in VATS but cost, you know, 5% more AP or something. And then you just like, this light stock is like, oh, you got, these cost less AP to shoot, but like it is a little bit less accurate. And you like, you have the actual trade-offs that actually affect the systems of the game. Like, it's not rocket science, kids. You could just like do things. Like even the camos could do something. Like just make stats that actually change the weapon. Stop putting stuff on guns that doesn't do anything. Now, there's plenty of things that do things here. Even if ignoring the things, the receivers work all the way up in damage. The barrels don't do anything. So let's ignore the barrels for the moment. I'll put the regular barrel on there just to say I did. The pistol grips don't do anything. Put it on a standard. It doesn't really make a difference. It visually looks different, but then we're not counting visually looking. Same thing with the camo. Visually looks different. That's fine. Whatever. Fuck you. Like, at least massively looks different, okay? The proficiency is just a flat damage increase number. You can change that if you want to. It also requires commando perk, but you can't suppress it or have the laser without it. Laser does something. We put the laser on. Suppressor does something. Suppress, right? The lower row, the launcher at least works. The other four grips are just cosmetic, right? The ammo type actually works. Kits, very fucking cool feature. Magazines work. Cool. Sights, you can pick whatever scope you want to use. Stock, visual thing, standard. Standard it is. It goes standard because it doesn't actually do anything. But there's still a decent amount of stuff here, right? You can increase his damage with the receiver. You can make yourself do more damage flat with a proficiency, which is kind of like you can, if you immersively make it be like over time, you get better at the weapon, and then therefore you get better. Like you start your playthrough out at standard, and then you get 25% about level 10, 50 at 20, right, so on and so forth. So the weapon grows with you as you grow and level. That's kind of cool. Put the target laser on. That works. It's the only laser, but it works. The muzzle attachments you put on there, you can put the launcher on there eventually. Gun nut 4, if you get there, right? The ammo types are cool. You know, varying different things. You want to do the depleted uranium thing, that's kind of cool. Hollow point, obviously, for massive damage increase when you get to that high. Kit is your choice of like how I want to play the game. I want lots of AP, so I can take lots of shots in VATS, you know, whatever. Or you could take the less damage. You could carry a lot more stuff. You could regenerate your action points faster because you want combat to be over quick, but then you're ready for the next combat quicker. You could get faster HP regeneration, which is a little bit weird. Quick draw is not really that big of a deal, but you can pick these things, which is cool. And those are free. Like, they don't cost anything. You could pick one of these from the very beginning of the game. That stalker one didn't seem to work, though. Pick a magazine. You want to reload fast. You want a bigger mag. If you don't care about clipping, you can do the really big mag. You can pick whatever set your preference is. You don't worry about the stock because it doesn't do anything. And you put a camo on there if you really care about what color your gun is. But yeah, I mean, there's still like a lot of stuff there. I think it's a good gun. It's just not 600 megabytes of good, and it just needs to fix some things. Take some of the stuff out of the fucking gun if it doesn't do anything. Or list correctly that it doesn't do anything. It looks different, right? Like, that's, you make the description, or right, you make it do something. Those are your choices. I'm gonna go test the weapon out in some combat finally. I know I talked a lot about this one, but it has a lot of stuff. And I just want to make sure everybody who's watching the video who potentially is thinking about using 600 megabytes of their fucking file space for this mod knows what they're getting into. Now, we're going to test it out in combat. I think it's going to function well. I think it's going to be fun to use. We'll see you when I get there. Alright, everybody, here I am, ready for some combat. We should have some super mutants up here to our right, like we usually do. I am pinging with this sight, which is interesting. Who knew that I was even... Is that the target laser, maybe, doing that? It probably is. Now, that's obviously very effective. Just ran right through that super mutant. We are pinging everybody. This scope's got... Or it's not the scope, I bet it's the laser. But it doesn't describe it as that, right? Like, the way that things Fallout function is different than the way that Call of Duty functions. You can't just use Call of Duty descriptions for your guns. Now, So far, so good. Let's see some third person. It does say how it has custom third person animations as well. Call of Duty does not work in the third person. It seems alright. Like the running animation is at least good. Let's see if we can shoot the weapon. It's probably going to aim in the scope. Fire. Reload looks fine. Like it all works, right? Okay. Super duper dead is working. Seems okay. My arms are a little bit janky on that reload, right? Like, I feel like I'm bent over a little too much, but it's alright, I think. Now there should be some ghouls over here. They should have heard some of that action. So I'm gonna load up a grenade and then let it go. Oh, I have a launcher on. That apparently does not work in third person, huh? I did kill a bunch of ghouls though. So now I do it in first person. It takes a long time. That ghoul's gonna get to me before I can even do it. Please don't blow me up. It does work. Like that worked, I suppose. You did load it, but not in third person. So if you're third person, the grenade launcher doesn't even do anything. Which is not great. But it is, I mean, the gun is functioning, right? It does work. That's working. Get a little framey in here. But yeah, you definitely have like a well-functioning assault rifle, but there's plenty of well-functioning assault rifles that don't have attachments that lie to you. That don't, like, I could name a bunch of them. Some VATS shots. I mean, the VATS accuracy here isn't crazy good for what we're getting. But, I mean, the dude is dead, I guess. That does count, right? Like, but lots of attachments that don't do anything. 600 megabytes does take up, you know, a lot of that is just the high-quality nature of these textures here, I bet. A lot of really good-looking textures, really good-looking animations, all this stuff from Call of Duty. Call of Duty can take up file space. Call of Duty can actually make a gun aim down sight quicker when it says it's going to do so, right? Like, there's cool stuff here. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Probably not worth your 600 megabytes of file size, though. I saw it as one of the most popular mods, which means people must be downloading it, right? Just, I don't know, man. Just ask me in the comments for a different assault rifle, and I'll give you a better one that takes up a lot less fucking file space. Like a better one. Like it's just this flat, better gun than this. Because there's just too much stuff here that doesn't really work. Or isn't described properly. I mean, the gun is fine. Like, that scope works fine. I can ping targets. That's kind of cool with the target laser and stuff. The reload animation looks really nice. I don't know, I'm dropping the mag like it's empty. But it's all functioning great, right? Like, it looks really good. It sounds really good. The attachments that do work are cool. The kits is a cool idea, but, like, I don't know if it's got to take up 600 megabytes to do all that. Maybe you can get rid of some of the things that aren't necessary, and then it becomes a smaller mod that's still really good. Because the good things are good. They're just outweighed by the negative things. Like I said, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you do want to check out this mod for yourselves, you got 600 megabytes of spare file space, and you just really want to check it out because it's something about it intrigues you. That you want to try out those kits. You want to use a target laser to ping targets while you can have whatever scope on you want. You want to try out the funky kind of grenade launcher. You can do those things. You're perfectly allowed to. By checking out the top link in the description, there'll be a link there to the Bethesda 9 page or the Nexus mod page, so you can download this mod for yourselves there. If you guys have enjoyed the video, like the video. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe so that way you can check out more videos from me. Pretty much other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day, whatever it may be, and I'll see you in the next episode.